Imagine this. You, a man of intellect, of principle, standing in the marketplace of modern love, lantern in hand, searching for an honest woman. But what if the truth you find isn't just disappointing but devastating? What if the very desire you've been taught to chase is a poison chalice designed not to fulfill you, but to break you? By the end of this, you will see through the illusion, not with bitterness, but with the cold, surgical clarity of a man who has stared into the abyss and learned to wield its darkness. Let's begin with a story, a man. Let's call him Alexander, gifted, ambitious, a thinker. He meets a woman who mirrors his intellect, his passions. For years, he builds sacrifices, believes in the fairy tale. Then one day he finds the texts, the lies, the slow, calculated erosion of his worth. He confronts her. She smiles, not with guilt, but with pity. "You took it too seriously," she says, and in that moment Alexander doesn't just lose love, he loses faith. This isn't rare, this is the rule. The ancient Greeks knew it. Diogenes, the philosopher who lived in a barrel, mocked the crowd searching for virtue because he knew the truth. Desire is not about love, it's about power. Female desire in particular is a pendulum swinging between two poles, security and excitement. And most men, they're just props in a game they don't even realize is being played. Think of the last time you saw a good man discarded, the devoted husband traded for a thrill, the loyal boyfriend, friend-zoned overnight. Society tells you it's his fault. He didn't adapt, didn't keep the spark alive. But what if that's the lie? What if the spark was never meant to last? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Women don't crave love the way men do. They crave effect, the emotional resonance you create in them, and once that effect fades, no matter your loyalty, your sacrifices, you are expendable. The data agrees. Studies on hypergamy, divorce courts, the 8020 rule in dating apps, all of it points to one brutal reality. The system is rigged, not by conspiracy, but by biology. But before you despair, before you rage at the unfairness of it all, understand this: the game is only hopeless if you play by the wrong rules. Diogenes didn't rage against the world's hypocrisy. He laughed at it. He mastered it, and now we'll arm you with the same weapons, the philosophical strategies to not just survive, but dominate the game. Because the answer isn't hatred, it isn't surrender. It's something far more powerful for now. Sit with this truth. Let it burn away the last of your illusions, because only when you see the trap can you finally step out of it. You've seen the trap, the lies, the way desire bends men into shapes they no longer recognize. Most never recover from this realization. They either crumble into bitterness or cling to hollow hope, begging for scraps of affection from a system designed to drain them. But not you, because you are not most men. You are the man who learns, the man who adapts, the man who, like Diogenes, stares into the face of a corrupt world and laughs. So how do you survive? No, thrive in a game rigged against you, not by playing harder, not by becoming a puppet on her strings, but by mastering the 3 laws of the cynic law. 1. Become ungovernable. The first rule of power is refusing to be controlled. Women, society, even your own biology will try to enslave you to validation, the cure. Radical self-sufficiency. Diogenes lived in a barrel, not because he was poor, but because he was free. He needed nothing, no status, no approval, no woman's gaze to confirm his worth. Modern men are addicted to female attention like a drug. They posture, they perform, they twist themselves into pretzels for a fleeting moment of warmth. Break the cycle, detach, not with anger, but with indifference. When you no longer need her, you become something far more dangerous, a man who cannot be manipulated. Law 2. Weaponize, ridicule. The second, a woman senses you take her too seriously. She loses respect for you. Ancient cynics mocked kings, philosophers, even the gods. because they understood reverence as weakness. The modern man falls in love with potential, with fantasy. He pedestalizes, romanticizes, and in doing so signs his own death warrant the solution. Laugh at her tests, at your own desperation, at the absurdity of the entire mating dance when she throws a tantrum, smirk when she withholds affection, shrug the moment she realizes her games don't affect you. That's when the power shifts. Law 3. Embrace the animal. Civilization has made men soft. We've been taught to suppress our instincts, to apologize for our strength, to negotiate for what should be taken. Diogenes ate in the marketplace, masturbated in public, lived like a beast. Not because he was crude, but because he rejected the lies of polite society. You are not a therapist. You are not an emotional tampon. You are a man, a creature of action, of passion, of raw will. Stop seeking permission, stop explaining yourself. Want her, take the lead, bore of her, walk away. The animal does not beg, it does not bargain, it acts, and in that action it reclaims its sovereignty. This is not about hating women, it's about seeing them clearly as flawed human, driven by the same primal forces as you. The moment you stop expecting fairness, you become free to play the game on your terms. But this is only the beginning, because now we go deeper into the shadows of male trauma, the lies you still believe, and the final step in your transformation, the step that separates the wounded from the warriors. Until then, ask yourself, what will you do with this power? Will you rot in resentment, or will you, like Diogenes, step into the sun unshackled and finally live as a free man? You've learned the rules, you've seen the game, but there's still one poison left in your veins, one last chain to break. It's not her, it's not society, it's the story you tell yourself. Every betrayed man carries a wound, a silent, screaming question: why was I not enough? And that question, that desperate, clawing need for vindication, is the final trap. Because the moment you make your value contingent on her remorse, her regret, her acknowledgement of your pain, you hand her the keys to your cage again. Diogenes was once captured by pirates, sold into slavery. When asked what he was good for, he replied, governing men, even in chains. He knew his worth was not defined by his circumstances. You think this is about her, about proving her wrong, making her see, forcing the world to admit what it took from you. But that's the illusion talking the truth. No amount of external validation will ever fill the void, not her tears, not your next conquest, not the hollow cheers of an audience equally lost. The real betrayal wasn't hers, it was yours. The day you handed a woman the power to define you. There is a moment, a single razor-edged moment, when the wounded man must choose to rot in the familiar warmth of his resentment, or to rise into the terrifying freedom of absolute self-ownership. This is where most fail. They swap one addiction, chasing love, for another, nursing their wounds. They become philosophers of suffering, martyrs to their own intelligence. Too addicted to their pain to let it go. Don't mistake understanding for wisdom. You can recite every red pill truth and still be enslaved by them. Real power doesn't come from knowing the game. It comes from transcending it. Here is the Diogenes protocol. 1. Burn the script. Stop rehearsing your betrayal. Stop waiting for an apology that will never come. The past is not a prison unless you keep rebuilding its walls. 2. Embrace the void, that hollow ache. Good, it means you're detoxing. Sit with it. Let it scald away the last of your illusions. 3. Create, don't consume. Most men spend their lives consuming porn, validation, distractions. The free man, he builds, he writes, he fights, he turns his pain into something that outlasts him. This is the secret the ancients knew. The only way out is through, not around your pain. Not over it, through it, and on the other side, something far more dangerous than happiness. Peace. Not the peace of surrender, the peace of a man who has stared into the abyss and realized it was never the abyss he feared, it was his own reflection. Now we go beyond philosophy, beyond pain, to the one thing left when all else burns away. You've walked through the fire, you've let go of the need to be seen, to be vindicated, to be understood. Now there is only one question left: what remains when nothing else does? Not your pain, not your theories, not even your hard-won wisdom. What remains is something far more primal, something Diogenes carried in his barrel, something no master could take from the slave, no king could strip from the beggar: your will. Not the petty, grasping will of a man who still begs life for fairness, but the relentless, unbreakable will of a man who has nothing left to lose. Here is the final truth. Every system, love, power, society is designed to harvest one thing from you: your attention, your energy, your life force. Women extract it through desire, corporations extract it through consumption, the weak extract it through pity. And the moment you realize this, you face a choice. Continue feeding the machine, trading your hours for scraps of validation, or become unkillable. An unkillable man is not rich, not famous, not invincible. He is simply unable to be controlled. He cannot be bribed with sex, threatened with loneliness, or shamed into conformity. He is free not because the world gave him freedom, but because he took it. Here are the three pillars of the unkillable man. First, sovereignty of time. Stop selling your days for dopamine. Stop arguing with ghosts. Every hour wasted on resentment is another hour you chose to remain a slave. 2. The laughing no. When the world demands your rage, give it amusement. When it begs for your submission, give it silence. The unkillable man does not fight on his enemy's terms. He changes the game. 3. The sacred obsession. Diogenes had philosophy. You must have one thing that is yours alone: a craft, a quest, a madness worth pursuing even if no one ever applauds. This is your anchor, your reason to rise, the only love that will never betray you. There will be days, the old wounds whisper days, you'll crave the comfort of your chains. On those days, remember, you were not born to be understood. You were not born to be loved. You were born to burn, and when the fire in you is finally hotter than the fear of being alone, the fear of being mocked, the fear of being forgotten, that is when you'll realize you were never the victim. You were the dragon all along.